Hey, welcome back, DC Everest Middle School teaching team. It's great to have you here. Hopefully, this flipped opening faculty meeting is a little more concise than it would be if we're in the theater, and also saves you some time when you're on the bus and cruising up. I know today is not a short opening meeting, but definitely want to be real purposeful about how we start the year and connect with each other and set the stage for what is going to be an awesome year. So along that note, we do have some great new additions to our teaching team. So looking forward to opportunities for you to be able to meet them today. We've got about 20%, a fifth of our teaching staff that's new, and we know that great relationships with kids are at the foundation of what we value. And frankly, we're better at that if we've got good, solid working relationships with each other. And today's opening and service is really all about that. And also very purposefully meant to connect what a great growth mindset looks like in action. We're talking a lot about Dweck's work with mindset. Really, the objectives of today have nothing to do with ziplining and everything to do with us being lead learners. Our kids need us to role model that and supporting each other in that healthy risk taking and innovation, because we're always moving and shaking and we've got to have each other's backs. So, and the other reminder I think is that our kids bring a huge variety of background to us each day, and we really bring that to the table too. So the closer we're able to work together and support each other, the better off we are. So thanks for your great participation today. And to our developers, their work with our data retreat and then turning these into activities that our facilitators can help us with. So thanks to everybody for their different layers of involvement. A few quick celebrations. They are on the screen here before you. You can see those there. Very fired up about our work with PBIS. We've still got plenty of work to do, and we're going to make some improvements in that area even this year. But that's notable to be recognized at the state level. Super proud of us, and I think we should be proud of each other for that work. So especially our PBIS leaders. So thank you for what you do in that way. Our SLO last year, yeah, effective educator doesn't always get us super fired up, but we've got a lot to celebrate in terms of our kids making their year of growth in the area of reading was the goal. We had targeted 80% and we had 87%. It was not looking that way mid-year, so the fact that we pretty notably surpassed it is definitely worthy of celebration. So great job. We all play a role in kids' great reading development and development as a whole as learners and consumers of information, creators hopefully, which links to our great engagement. You put in a lot of hours over the summer, both here and then with some great things that are happening on the home front. I know we've got kids heading off to college and amazing summer trips that people were on and great times with families and just personal exploration, and just hope you take some time today to hear what others have been up to and share what you've been up to over the summer as well. So all right, into the less exciting but still really important stuff. Do check out the handbook. Only small adjustments really being made in there, but I would just take this moment to remind us about the safety and how that's always essential. So keys and roster do have that note on there, but familiarize yourself. And early on in our year with our orientation week, we're going to be talking about hard lockdown, soft lockdown, security watch, and what those things mean and how we respond. So also know that we've got some new tools for our opening week that are going to be coming your way. I've got a couple of links here. One is active for you right now. You can check that out. Especially want to thank Jen Gipp, Lisa Braun, Dallas Rennie, Jody Devine, more put a lot of time in this summer, and others have contributed along the way too. Jen's putting the videos together that you'll see here. Really, the idea was to make sure that we are consistent in how we roll some of these things out, and so the videos are, as much as they're meant to be consistent for kids, they're also to be a kind of behind-the-scenes training tool for us as educators, so we're talking the same language, and these are really like push and play. So when you see what Jen's developed, you'll recognize that it's pretty helpful. This is going to go on like this for a couple of minutes, and there's going to be a spot for stop and pause, and then you have an opportunity to talk with kids. So the reality is these are your lesson plan. You have very little prep other than making sure you're current on what they say. So the one I'm sharing with you right here is not the final version, but it's what we've got right now. We've got some adjustments that we're making as we've put these in kids' hands, put the iPads in kids' hands. We've already seen a few things we want to take care of, and we're trying to be consistent with district policy as well. So check those out in advance, but we're going to push those out via email as well. And the second link that is not on here, where it says under construction down here, that one will talk about use of calendar, email, things like that. Although I think we're all pretty comfortable with those things, we want to be consistent with how we roll those out, especially when we don't have a planner this year. This is where we don't have a planner, we're piloting an LMS comes in. So we want to be real cautious about how we use those digital planning tools, knowing that we're probably in an interim. We want to put kids in the driver's seat of using those tools efficiently, effectively, and we've got an opportunity to set the stage for that once here. We will learn and make some mistakes, and we'll adjust as we go along, but these two tools should really help us be closer to a similar place. So check them out, and again, super grateful for the people that took time this summer to put these resources together. Also grateful, Jody is also looking to save some time. Staff new to the building are going to participate in full duty meetings or have participated in some of that already. But others, veteran staff, where we traditionally have brought you together, we don't think that's necessary. So if you have other questions, feel free to reach out. But I'm thinking we're going to have 2-minute videos is what Jody's kind of forecasting, that will hit on the highlights of responsibilities for our duties. So those will be coming out to you in the near future as well. PD requests, I did not think it was helpful for me to bounce into Skyward myself, because my Skyward view looks different than yours. But just remember that you do a pre-approval for things. If those are things that are not district sponsored, you've got to attach some documentation. Might be a project, so a number of you have done those kinds of things this summer. It also might be a course from a higher ed institution, and then you put that syllabus in there or a description of what the course is all about. But then you have to go back in later and finalize that PD. So if it took more time, took less time, you're supposed to make sure that that's accurate on the post, which is what the acronym PRO is all about. So just so you know, if it shows up with a prefix, not an acronym, pre, then you're looking at pre-approval. Pro, their hours for professional development is the best I can understand that prefix. So, but you do need to go back in. So a number of you are still putting pre-approvals in, and some, admittedly, are still hanging out there that I'm working through. But please know that you'll have to go back in at some point. And you can check out the full video from Kim Hall if you want more detail. But otherwise, feel free to stop by and I can walk you through the basics of it if you're still unclear or uncertain. Digital integration, what should we be doing? Every kid's getting an iPad. I'm hearing lots of different versions of this. So I talked a little bit to our planning team that was in last week that did some planning for our opening in service. Really, just remember, there's not an expectation that every second of the day a student is plugged in, nor is it the expectation that we're just going to park the iPads and not use them well. I'm totally confident that you guys are creative and you recognize that they're a tool that's multifunctional and they're going to do a lot of really helpful things. They're not going to replace other great things that we're doing. So I guess the question to use as we're going through this first year and we share what's effective, if this enhances what we're after for kids learning, then by all means use it. And if it gets in the way, let's put it on the shelf for that moment. So do consider SAMR, and as we've talked before, remember, that's not necessarily a hierarchy. It's not that substitution, the S-level stuff, is bad or wrong, but just to remember that the device can do more than that, and there's opportunities for us to connect really in new and different ways that we've never done before, to reimagine, reinvent, and that's exciting too. So. Bottom line, we're going to work to find balance and to do some reflection throughout the year about the experience a kid has over the course of their 8 periods with us in their quarter, their semester, their year, and along the way collaborate and share ideas. And for sure today out on our PD adventure here, there's going to be a place where we really are asking you to share with us some thoughts or concerns that you have and solutions that you've got. And those might be real practical things about behavior management, or they might be big ideas that help us use that tool in a new and cool way. So by all means, share those ideas. Just be aware, we are going to have some conversations with our team leaders, and so please relay things about this topic through team leaders. We've got families that have said, I'd rather have you keep that at school, and we will have an Apple ID, or I don't want anything to do with it at all. I don't want to give my kids data and information out, no Apple ID. There's a variety of different perspectives. I totally think that's going to evolve over time. We're really in our building talking about a very small handful of families that have done that. But we still need to be mindful of that and spend some time thinking about what the expectations will be for those kids that are leaving devices here at school and how that affects instruction. So know that conversation is coming up at Key Person, and we'll be discussing it more. But please consider that. And when I say small, I'm talking about 10 kids of 903 as of today. So. Standards-based grading and our learning management system, just a little update. Please review the latest handbook. Faye is going to send that out to you. It is on the intranet, but that's going to come out just to put it in your hands from Faye. And as is our updated teacher handbook, so you get those two things coming. Short term, the pilot is going to be challenging. We'll have Infinite Campus, then 2 other systems, and some of you are not involved in that LMS pilot if you're not in a standards-based environment. So we'll have to be talking. Ultimately, I'm telling parents that their teachers will communicate where that home base is for digital communication and updates about learning, where they can access resources at the classroom level. So in the future, I am very excited to be able to say we'll be in one environment, at least as a home base. But in the short term, you guys are really having to take that on, and I appreciate your work in making that as smooth as possible with kids and with parents. So I do encourage you to really be engaged. It's still about great feedback, about being clear about what we're after for kids, using great formative assessment and then responding to that, differentiating. Personalization is built on those ideas as well. I would recommend if you have not yet, you should take a standards-based grading course this year so that you are not up in arms next year if you haven't made that shift. And I know so many of you have already done that in our building, but just please consider taking that course sooner rather than later. It will absolutely support your growth and have you feeling comfortable as we move forward. So bringing it home, final few bullet points here just so you're aware. The Common Time app's got a little update, and so we're going to experiment with this. If you tell me it's not helpful or it needs to be evolved a little bit, we will. But right now, if you click on that link, you're going to see kids' sample daily schedules. I'm not going to click out of there because my time's running down, but ultimately that is a link to an email that a kid would receive if they are assigned to you for Common Time. So there might be some ways to actually have kids be more autonomous and more responsible by putting that in their email boxes. And maybe not. Maybe it's just filling their boxes up too. So if that's the case, we'll talk about that and evolve. Faye is going to let you know if you are on summer year, and so again, if you're first year at the middle school, even if you're a veteran staff member, you are for sure in that. And then there's a rotation that we've talked about that has been slightly adjusted, so we'll get you an update very soon. Do have a new Psych Club member. I think she emailed team leaders, Emily Sattler, looking to get back to our team meetings again, and very excited about being in this role. She's also coordinating the Greenheck Fieldhouse site as well. CD is now ID. Just please be aware that was not my idea. I don't really have an opinion on it, but know that we're going to be changing those labels. And then we are looking for a couple of advisors. And as always, if you've got great ideas for new clubs, keep them coming. We've got a lot of great things for kids, and that's an important part of what we do. So, all right, I'm going to make my 15-minute window. Today, really fired up for us to have the opportunity to really interact in a positive way, to again encourage that growth mindset and to have a little fun together. Working with kids is a fun job. We've got to remind ourselves that sometimes, but our roles are too important, too influential to not give them the maintenance and the nourishment they need. So this year's going to be great because you're going to make it great. So I hope you have a fantastic start to the year, and that begins today. Have a great time. DCEMS.